Hi everyone, how are you today? In this episode we will talk about two important points about bee behavior. The first will be the division of labor by worker bees inside the hive. The second, we will talk about how we will start to preparing all details for entering inside the apiary and start to handling the hives. Now let's go together to check the hive. We will talk now about the division of labor inside a bee nest. There are different stages inside. The bees, according its age, we will do different tasks until at the end of their lives that they will work outside collecting food and water. It is very interesting when you observe, you can check these bees at the entrance of the nest. These bees with the open wings has the high level content of venom of inside the sting apparatus. Sometimes the bees has different tasks according its develop of glands, of internal structures, external structures. For now, these bees at the entrance are the guards. They protect and defend the entrance of the hives against another bees and another insects and another animals. This is very interesting because the bees stay in this task, developed this function around only one day, between the day 20 and 21 after boarding. After this, the bees will be ready to go outside, to fly and visit the flowers. But before, they will do a special fly outside the hive and around the hive for orientation fly, for check exactly the position of the hive in relationship of the sun. This is the mechanism that the bees has for knowing exactly the location of their hives. And then they will be ready to flying outside and search for the food source for bringing back to inside the hive. The bees will do these tasks until at the end of their lives. And when the bees during the season completes around 40 to 60 days, they will die, but outside the hive. The bees at the end of their lives do not die inside the hive. When they don't have more be able to fly, to collect food, they will walking far from the hive, and they will die very far from the entrance of the nest. Why this? For not to attract predators for attack the hive, mainly ants. Then the bees, when die outside at the end of their lives. The division of labor inside a nest can be classified as well for the age, by the age of the bees. When the bees are young yet, they are attracted by the darkness, and then they stay inside the hive working and developing their tasks inside the hive. When the bees are with some age, when they are older, they are attracted by the light, and then they started to come to the entrance of the hive, and the second step, flying outside to visit the flowers to collect the food. We will open a hive for show some bees working inside the nest. It's very easy to see the bees, the young bees, receiving the nectar from the bees that came back from the field. It's very easy, we see the bees changing food through trophallaxis inside the hive. It's very simple. Another bees in this frame with brood are feeding the larvae. This is another stage of the life of the bee according their tasks. They eat the younger bees until 1 week after borning. They eat honey, they eat pollen, and produce in their head through different glands the food that will feed the larvae. Another task is production of wax. This wax is produced by the bees that has from 2 weeks to 3 weeks through 4 pairs of glands that they have in the ventral of the abdomen. The bees need to eat honey for producing wax through these glands and build the combs. It is necessary the bees eating 10 kg of honey for produce only 800 grams of wax. This is a very special thing, and you need to know exactly what happened inside the nest, because all details about the behaviors, about the division of labors, you will use it in the practical beekeeping for handling correctly their hives in the future. Another thing that you are seeing here are the bees eating the honey that is not ripe yet, removing the honey, eat and return this honey inside the same cell. Why the bees are doing this? Because they need to add more enzymes inside this honey for change the nectar from nectar to honey. Here we have a lot of cells open yet, and here we have a big quantity of cells with open broods closed, very close to the honey on the top of the frame, and the pollen. The pollen that is inside is not more pollen. This new substance is named bee bread, the bread of the bees. The bees bring the pollen from the flowers, from the male part of the flowers, and storage inside the cells. And the bees continue to add water, honey, enzymes, for create a new product with which name is bee bread. And the bees, for feeding the larvae, eating this bee bread and feed the broods. This is the gun of the beekeeper. If the beekeeper uses correctly the smoker, he will not have any problem during the handling the hives. But if he doesn't know how to use it, he will have problems. Why? Because the smoke is the first thing that we need to do and introduce in the hives before we open the covers. Another effect of the smoke is everything inside a hive is follow smells. The bees has different glands for secrete different smells, and they have good olfactory apparatus for feeling these different smells. If you put the smoke, you can broke all organization inside a hive. That's why the smoke is very important, and the smoker as well. For our bees in the UAE, we are using the small smokers. Why? Because these bees are sweet. In other countries that we have bees from the African groups, we need to use big smokers because the bees there, for example, in Brazil, the country, my country, we use big smoker because there we are handling since 1952 African honeybees, very different of these sweet bees that we have here. Now we will talk step by step how to lighten the smoker, and which materials can we use for burning inside the smoker. A smoker has basically three different pieces. First, the cover. Second, the piece that we will put the material for burning inside. And the third piece is in the back for create a ventilation and force the smoke go outside the device. We have different materials for burning inside the smoker. We can use dry leaves from the trees. We can use organic material, natural organic material from the trees. We can use different materials. But it's very important. All materials need to be natural, without contaminants, without chemicals, for we burn inside. If not, we will transmit to the bees these problems, this source of pollution, source of chemicals inside the hives. If we need to handle only few hives, we can use the dry leaves, the material from the other trees, organic material. But if we need to handle many hives, we can use this material. This is from wood processing machines that they processing the woods. We have this natural machine without chemicals and stay burning for a long time. This is a very special and good material that we use here. And for lightening the smoker, we will use it to put a small quantity of this woody processing material inside, and for help to put fire, we can use tissue, a paper, anything that's starting the fire very well. But it's very important. We can't use petrol, diesel inside the smoker. Only the natural material. If you insert petrol, the chemical will stay here and will transmit for inside the hive. Then we will put fire in the tissue and put inside. And after, we can add more pieces of tissue, of some paper. And start to working this part of the smoker for burning the wood processing material inside the device. when I am sure that the material inside is burning, I can start to add more wood material inside, and never forget to exercise to working the back side of the smoker. Now we are sure that we have fire in this part, and on the top we will add new material. A good smoke is a smoke with cold temperature and white color. If I starting to put the fire on the top inside the smoker, I will put inside the hives fire and a hot smoke with a dark color. It's not possible. I need a cold smoke, a white smoke. This is the correct smoke that I need for starting to open the hives. At last, I close the cover and the smoker is ready for use. Next time we will show you how to handling in details different things, different details inside the professional beekeeping. Bye, see you.